light normally.
No. Remember that, John, when we used to have full hangout days in person, and we'd do 3 or 4 of these episodes. We'd order a dinner. You'd eat a bunch of buffalo wings, and we'd hang out. We'd have the time of our lives.
Yeah.
You'd sleep over, and then there was time.
I'm almost there. Don't stop.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Sex in the City. My name is Kevin McCaffrey, and I'm here with your friendly neighborhood boy.
Wing boy, Johnny Sauce. Hey, I'm Johnny Sauce.
John, what's your sauce? If you were Johnny Sauce, I'm not saying you're not. I'm not challenging the authenticity of that. But what would be your sauce?
Like if I artisanally crafted my own sauce, or what sauce do I prefer on my wings?
Yeah, your number one sauce, whatever that means to you.
Well, I don't. They're not a sponsor of the show, but Wingstop. There is a Wingstop out here, and you know my love affair with Wingstop. Mm-hmm. They have a spicy Korean barbecue flavor now that is very good. It's very
nice.
Good. Highly recommended.
I just did the lip smack kind of thing that you are famous for, but
my trademark's my lawyers will be in touch.
But I do want to say your mouth has been very dry the last couple episodes. I appreciate it, and nice. And my snack right there. It happens to all of us. I just got my own.
Oh, there are loads of empathy now that you're doing it, but before put me on the cross. Put me on the wet cross.
Wet cross, John Daly, the dampest martyr in town. Hey, welcome, John. This is, as we said, we're both pretty sober for us. Not that we do this show drunk. I mean,
most of the time, yeah.
but we're more sober than usual right now. This is the first time I'm going on camera when I have not showered today.
Brave. Wow, this is like when women post the no makeup stuff. This is you, no shower.
Yeah, this is me being brave, au natural. And this is in literally, as we speak, my final hour as a 37-year-old. So
that's why I am sober. That's why I'm sober. I don't know about you, but...
Is it because my age and my proximity to death has sobered you? Is that what you're saying?
That's it. Because we did a digital hang last night and it kicked my ass.
That's true. We did a digital hang with just old roommates and stuff. And I was too drunk. I shouldn't be that drunk anymore. But there we go. We did it. So fuck it.
Yeah. Fuck it. Indeed. It used to be a thing that we do like 3 or 4 times a week, and now it's like when it's someone's birthday. So
yes.
It's nice.
Exactly. This episode is called The Post-it Always Sticks Twice. And John, what was this episode about?
It's I'm surprised that you don't remember because you just watched it presumably, but it's the one where Carrie bangs a guy from 3M who famously makes Post-it notes. It's a very specific episode title. It was hard to come up with something.
No, but I think you did it, and the real heads out there, the real ones know, and they get and appreciate your effort. They're giving us a rundown based strictly off the title that is incorrect. You guys know it's a regular feature of the show. Another regular feature, plugging our socials. Please follow us at Sex in the City. It's on Instagram. If you haven't already, why aren't you doing that? You can see more of us. You can see more of our faces and other I was going to say other parts of us. I mean, that's technically true, but it sounds more sexual than I mean it to. And follow us on Twitter at Sex City It's Pod. And if you haven't yet, rate, review us, tell a friend. We'd love it. Write about us in Reddit. Someone did that for us recently. It seems like I got a few new fans in here, so that's pretty nice. John,
welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Wouldn't it be crazy if they started on this episode? Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of pressure on this episode, Kevin. You better be good.
Fuck. God damn it. I'm going to blow it. What would we have to do to blow it on a podcast, do you think?
I think racial slurs would probably do the trick.
Yeah, so we'll hold off on those for now. That's for our Patreon subscribers. Yeah, this episode was directed by Alan Taylor, who we've spoken of, and the writer, I believe this is a first-time writer. Her name is Liz, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but let's say Tucilo? I don't know. But
I can feel those racial slurs coming, Kevin.
I was going to go, Italian?
Yeah.
Yeah. A notable thing about her, she was the co-author of the book
Eat, Pray, Love.
He's just not that into you.
Oh, now you mentioned that. Yeah, that phrase originated with this show. That was a couple episodes ago, I think.
Yeah, it was a Greg Behrendt jam, and
okay.
Liz apparently. So they co-wrote that book together, and she also wrote How to Be Single, which was then turned into a film as well.
Wow, very good.
That's what she did. And this episode aired on August 3rd, 2003. It kind of popped a 5.77, which I know you love. And
give me those sweet numbers.
That's all the business up top. Before we get into the actual HBO recap, John, anything before we hit that business?
What 5.77 is that? How many millions of people watched, or is that
roughly
a share of the audience?
Roughly millions.
Roughly millions.
It's not exact, but it's roughly that many million.
How many do you know? I mean, you probably have the stats there in front of you. Do you have how many people had HBO subscriptions at the time?
I do not have those stats in front of me.
All right,
I don't
know.
Never mind. But I think one thing that hearing how many people watch this registers for me is the cultural impact of this show outpaced the actual number of people watching it. You know what I mean? Like this, because more than double that were watching every single Walking Dead for a long time recently, you know?
Right.
So, and people.
This was back when there were only 6 channels on TV.
Basically,
that's when
yes.
this aired. Yeah.
This was the first color television show.
That's amazing. Yeah.
It doesn't get enough credit for that. It was also the second talkie behind, you guessed it, Frasier. So, yeah.
It's good. Yeah. But also, yeah, so this is like the Velvet Underground of TV shows, basically. Mm-hmm. Like,
yes.
And it didn't not a lot of people watched it, but everyone that did watch it went out and wrote a successful book and screenplay or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think that's a good comp. It's like it feels like everyone was watching it, even if they weren't as much, you know. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I've just hiccuped like 4 times in a row. Man, 38's going to be rough. All right. So let's do the HBO recap. Carrie goes to a hot new club in an attempt to get over post-it traumatic stress caused by Berger. That's pretty good. Post-it traumatic stress. Charlotte claims that everything happens for a reason, even failed marriages. Miranda is ecstatic about fitting into her skinny jeans, and Samantha tries to dress her man in designer labels, but doesn't want him to label her.
That's all. That sounds pretty accurate, I guess.
Yeah, I think
that checks out.
Yeah. And this episode, as people know, we usually sort of break it into character by character, but I feel like this episode's kind of tough for that because this was sort of a bottle episode. John, can you tell people what a bottle episode is if they don't know?
Yes.
TV insider lingo.
Here we go. So a bottle episode is when they all the main characters shrink down, and it's sort of like a Fantastic Voyage sort of thing where they fit inside of a bottle. And then they're trapped in there, and then they starve to death.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. Yeah, it's when the characters get physically smaller and go in a bottle. Yes.
No, I thought a bottle episode normally is like in like genre TV shows or whatever, like Star Trek or BSG, where they don't like leave the set. They have the set that's built, so they save on expenses because they don't need to go on location or whatever. But they're going all over the place. Here they're in different places, but so
no, you're right. It's not. I don't think this is strictly a bottle episode. It's, to me, it seemed like it was more limited in terms of settings than we usually get, and all the gals just like stayed together for the most part. It's kind of a one crazy night sort of episode.
Yeah, sort of it was nice. Yeah, and as my wife noted, it's so weird because I wish she could talk, but she can't.
Yeah, she lost her voice, and it's a real Little Mermaid situation, which is too bad. But yeah,
but it was like this is like the most fun they've had in weeks or months or whatever. Like this was or ever.
Yeah, Kristen says ever. I heard her. John does.
You can
That is one.
talk.
That is one difference between John and I. John, now in our current recording situation, his studio frequently includes his wife trying to sleep. Is where John records from a few feet away from her. Well, yeah. Whereas I'm in a more isolated studio, I suppose. Yeah, but it was a fun thing. I guess I would ask you, John, like, where would you like to start?
Well, I mean, at the beginning's a good place, I guess. Well, the first thing we see is Charlotte trying to get a cab, and she's showing off that ring, and it's like, oh, so the thing from last week that we were so proud about Charlotte for not being hung up on, like, oh, he didn't have a ring when he proposed, but like he has. He went out and got the ring, and a huge one, and one that was inspired by Elizabeth Taylor's ring that she got from, I believe, Richard Burton is what they said. And they talked about Elizabeth Taylor as someone who converted to Judaism for, I'm going to assume, Richard Burton, but at least, no, it wasn't even. It was Eddie Fisher, right? You're asking the wrong guy, but sure, that sounds right.
I was gonna say something that I hope you know wasn't meant to be as cruel as it sounds. I was gonna go, you're the right guy to ask for what, is what I was gonna say, which is that you know a lot of things.
I do.
That is not the way I meant it.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, man, that sounds like a test question that you'd give to someone that you think is like a Russian spy or something, where you're like, was that one of Elizabeth Taylor's husbands? And you play it up like it was, but really it wasn't. And then I agree with you. And oh man.
And then you're caught, and then you're in prison. You're tried for treason. Yeah,
that's it. Kevin, what's your favorite ring? What would you model a ring after?
For a lady?
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think this question, we all know, we don't know. That's what it is, right? When I proposed, I asked our friend, former Sex and the City, its co-host for a couple episodes, Elizabeth Kukta Deichel, and I asked her to find out what kind of ring my wife wanted. And they used to watch a lot of wedding shows together, so they had just, talked about it conversationally. So I knew it was basically a square cut, situation, like a single diamond square cut. And I know there's other details about it, but
was there a pillow cut? Was there a pillow involved?
I think it's is it a princess, or is that something else? I don't know. This is two married guys who fucking done this. But yeah, I don't know. What's your model?
I really loved Kate Middleton's ring. I thought it was classy, and it was a dolphin cut, and it just really, it's like a dolphin cut, but like leaping out of the ring. And it's beautiful.
Yes. I guess I would have to say I liked Jenna Jameson's second. It was stunning. Yeah. One time I got on Twitter, I got tagged in a conversation that was me, Sean Hannity, and Jenna Jameson, and I was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck has happened to my career that I've included in this situation?" Yeah. So she's flagging down a cab with her ring, and
pretty ring, and someone just sort of like inserts himself to like, oh, I'm gonna jump in this cab, and she's like, all right, no big deal, because she's blissed out, man. She's on the most powerful drug of all, diamond fever,
materialism. Yes, as Carrie
Kevin,
says.
Excuse me, what are you? Could I have some alcohol, please?
Oh, sure. I'll throw that out. I'm drinking gin and tonic, John, and the gin it's some St. George gin is what I'm fucking with right now, and some diet tonic. I'm trying to keep the butt as tight as I possibly can. I've had a fat couple days, to be honest. What are you boozing?
Well, I've got Coke Zero here, and I'm drinking it through a penis straw.
Okay, so John is sober. John, is this your first stone cold sober episode?
Yeah, and I thought I'd do this as a fun gimmick. I think I'm gonna eat this pint of Halo Top ice cream.
Do not eat on mic. We do.
I'll turn away from the mic. I'm gonna tase on day this.
I just complimented how dry your mouth was recently,
let
and
it
now you're
down.
going to put a whole fucking pint of cream in there. Well, this is you can find us on YouTube too if you want to see John eat ice cream. So that's good. You can see what our home studios look like and our faces. Yeah, but I guess I'm drinking for one tonight. I mean, I can't think
Sorry
of.
you kicked my
No, it's
ass
okay.
last
It's
night.
not. I'm not blaming you.
I feel like
I
dirt,
don't.
Kevin.
No, I feel like dirt every day of my life. It's fine. I'm just
Well, that's
older
why you
dirt
need
than
ice
I've ever
cream.
been. I know. All right. So Carrie says in the voiceover to begin, NYC, she says, New York City is a great place to be engaged. Even better place to be enraged.
That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. No, it's fine.
Yeah, and then she bumps into a guy, and she's the guy or a
A
guy
little
bumps into
shouting
her, and
match, but she's in a sour mood because this is actually, I don't know if they've done this in this show before,
mm-hmm.
but this is it picks up immediately where the last one left off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, like sorry, I was taking a photo of the screen with your dick straw. Yes, it picks up like the morning after Carrie gets, or the morning of her, because that's a huge theme of the episode, is the morning she got dumped by Posted in the morning, and Carrie basically says, this can't be the day. I need this day to be a different day. It needs to be not the day that I was dumped by Posted anymore.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be really hard to change that narrative, I think. Virtually impossible.
We live a lot of fucking days, dude. Honestly, you got dumped by Posted today. I'd embrace that shit. It sucks, but also it's a notable day. Let's own this day for the day. They start, the days, the older you get, the faster they move. So, but she wants to change it up. And so she comes in with kind of a big energy. She's like, let's move it along. I want to hang out with the girls and do something fun.
Yeah, I'm free now. I have a lot of free time suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she goes and meets him for brunch or whatever. And Charlotte drops her bombshell that she's not only is she back dating this guy, but they're not dating anymore. They're engaged, and look at my ring, and how exciting is this?
And it is exciting. And
it is exciting.
It's a lot of news at once that I'm back with the guy and we're engaged, all that. But it's the news doesn't even dominate the table. I thought it was perfectly Carrie, and it was not called out as a thing, but Charlotte is engaged to a guy that they know she truly loves. Like, they get along. Harry's good. Everyone likes Harry. And so she's engaged to this guy. That's huge news. But I think if we did a statistical breakdown of the amount of time, the amount of seconds at the table spent talking about Charlotte getting engaged to someone who's great and who she loves, versus Carrie getting dumped by this jabroni who kind of was never really anything anyway. And that's not to take away from Carrie's sadness about the breakup. That's genuine. That's fine. But we spend more time on that than we do on Charlotte's news.
Right. And you know what? Charlotte, you got engaged again? What is it, Tuesday already?
That's true, and that is something that Charlotte struggles with throughout the episode too. Is basically, she's like, I feel like I can't be over the top excited and about this because it's the second time. But that's later, I guess.
Yeah, that is, yeah. But yeah, Carrie here is excited for her friend for like 5 seconds before she's
that was very big of her.
But she's like, oh yeah, I just got dumped, and I have the goddamn Post-it note to prove it. She carries it around with her. I mean, I guess it's the same day, so it's not like she's carried it around for weeks and weeks or anything. But she did consciously put it in her purse to show off to her friends, I guess.
Yes, and I get that. If I had the evidence, I think I would probably do the same thing. John, can you tell us what the Post-it itself says? You're eating ice cream.
Ate all the sugar plums from the fridge. They were cold, and it was delicious. Forgive me.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that is not what the Post-it said. The Post-it said, I'm sorry, I can't, don't hate me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it said. So that's it. And it seems like that's the breakup, and that's what it's going to be. You know, we don't. Spoiler: we don't see Berger in this episode at all.
Yeah. So yeah, he's out having a good time probably.
Mm-hmm.
He's living his best life.
Yeah, but at brunch, I guess is this a topic that comes? She refers to the relationship with Berger as just this relationship was a complete waste of time.
I mean, they're all a waste of time, right? And they're all a waste of time until you marry someone.
They're a waste of time until they're not. I think, but that's also, according to her, that's a very dude way of looking at it, because she says that women are always talking about learning something from a relationship, even if it doesn't work out, and that sort of ties in with Charlotte saying that everything happens for a reason. You know, which, John, your thoughts on the thought everything happens for a reason?
I think, I mean, it's a cop out. It's a cop out, right?
I fucking hate it. Because
not everything happens for a reason. It is like about the only. If someone dies, then it's like, man, what are you gonna say? Like, what can you say? So you say something like that, and
dumb
it's
like that.
It's not good.
No,
it's not good. But it's like, what else are you gonna say? Like, I'm sorry for your loss. But this isn't even it. This is like, well, you got dumped. All right, let's move along.
Yeah, it's just I hate, it's one of my least favorite tropes, or just repeatable little things that people
like fortune cookie wisdom.
Fuck that. No, things are chaotic, and some things just happen because life is bad, and some things happen because life is good. You know what I mean? Like, this is just the breakups happen, shit happens, and Charlotte's trying to say, and she's trying to use the logic of, if I didn't get married to Trey, then I never would have gotten divorced, and then I never would have met Harry, who I love. And but I think things working out isn't an explanation for everything that preceded it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you can make good things happen and you can get lucky later on, but that doesn't, I don't want to say excuse, maybe that's the wrong way to put it, but it doesn't justify all the shit that came before. Sometimes you just deal with a bunch of shit and then things get better, you know?
Yeah, I mean, everything happens for a reason because there's preceding incidents that all like lead up to an event, but like,
yes.
They're not like, it just seems like, oh, I married Trey so I can meet Harry. And then like, so I guess if you guys get divorced, it's just going to be, you're going to be happy again. Like, if you'd never met Trey, you might still have met Harry in some other capacity, or could have met someone else and been just as happy, or maybe even happier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Yeah, maybe you would have met a guy who had all of Harry's qualities, but didn't make you convert religions and didn't have back hair you had to wax off, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh! There was a fun line during this brunch where they do. Carrie says paper covers rock when because she's got the post-it note and covers the ring with it. It's very good.
It's a good line, and also completely describes Carrie's selfish insanity, where she's like, my post-it note trumps you getting engaged, you know.
Well, you know what, Kevin? Fucking Charlotte's not in the opening sequence getting splashed on by a bus, is she? This ain't the Charlotte show.
You know what? Fucking scoreboard. You're right. It's
I'm sorry, right. Charlotte. How many buses are you on the side of?
I mean,
I'm on the side of this one, and so I'm just confused.
Sure. I mean, you inherited enough money to buy that advertising on a bus just from being married for 2 months, so you could be on a bus, but you're not. So fucking scoreboard. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, so this is obviously, this episode spins off from Carrie being dumped in a famously bad way. So I was going to ask you.
We've talked about bad dumpings, right? Have we talked about bad dumpings?
I don't know if we have. I wrote down either worst breakup, or what's the worst way you've been dumped or that you dumped.
I did. All right. So I did dump someone via phone once, but we were in different states. So it was unlike a permanent. It's not like I drove to Ohio to dump someone.
You got across state lines for legal reasons and then made the call from a payphone. Yeah.
But yeah, I was in New York and she was not, and it was not going to change anytime soon. So that was like, But that's not. So I don't. When Carrie's like talking about later on, she's like talking about having the guts to do it face to face. It's like, phone is basically face to face. It's voice to voice.
It is, and I think like yeah, depending on your situation, like you said, you're not in the same state, so it's I don't think that's crazy.
And then one time, the same person actually previously had left
all your bad breakups with one person. Yeah.
Left my class ring in my car.
That was how she told you it was over?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's kind of a post-it. It's like my Jostins? You're just going to leave my Jostins in my car?
Yeah. You dropping a Jostins on you? The collateral damage here. Jostins, you fucking... What a hoax Jostins was. I remember them giving like we had to go to like a pep rally in my high school where they just gave a huge sales pitch. It's like, someone's getting a fucking kickback here. This is crooked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that too. And I remember the ring, that one of the selling points for us was like, oh, it's going to say class of 2001. So that's going to up. And I swear to God, they were talking about like its resale value or how valuable it is. And it's like, I didn't like think about it at the time. But then afterwards, like, what were we going to do with our class rings? Who would want to buy these things?
Who's buying a class ring when it's not your class? That's the whole thing. It
doesn't have your name on it. It doesn't have anything but any identifying marks. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jostins. This episode is brought to you by Jostins.
Yeah.
Is there a competing class ring company, Kevin?
It's a monopoly, dude. They shouldn't get the antitrust exemption. But yeah, they fuck Jostins.com. Did she tell you she was breaking up, or she just with you, or you saw the ring and you knew?
I just saw the ring. It was in an envelope, and I forget what else was in the envelope. I don't know if there was something else.
A small explosive. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it! I was dating. That's my fault for dating someone from the IRA.
Yeah. John's Belfast babe. Yep. There was a discussion with a girl once, and then I had like a gift for her that was it wasn't a ring or anything, but it was a piece of jewelry that I ended up. I opened her door and then I threw it in. I just like threw it in the door and then I left, and that was.
But you bought her a gift for the breakup?
No, I bought her a gift otherwise, and then the breakup happened, and I had the thing on me, and I was like, "Well, fucking, this is over."
Oh, she broke up with you, and then you're like, "Here's your gift."
Kind of, technically, yes, animal. More or less, yes. I technically said it's over, but I think it was. It was
some real mixed messages here, Kevin. You bought a gift, and then something happened, and you said it's over. Here's your gift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can. Well, I think it's like you can do enough things to make the breakup inevitable, and then be like, "Well, but I'm not breaking up with you." You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so yeah, I had that. Otherwise, I think as a dumper, I was a big accidental ghoster, which I think I've talked about before. Like I didn't really think I was, and I didn't mean to, but I
didn't even have the courtesy to leave a post-it, is one way of saying it.
Yeah, I'm a worse Berger, bad Berger, K-Mac. Yep. Yeah. All right. So, John, take me where you want to go next.
Take me where you want to go, Kevin. I'd love to take you to bed.
Take me to bed. So that's where they're going for their big hangout night, right?
Mm-hmm. It's the hottest new club. This club's got everything.
It's super Stefan as a club. Yeah. It's got people with people who are not showing nipple, but clearly have no bra underneath whatever thing they're wearing otherwise. Topless dudes, actual beds.
People wearing pajamas, the wait staff wearing pajamas and like the things you put over your eyes when you go to sleep. And then also beds. There's a lot of weird beds with neon headboards and shit. Mm-hmm. It seems really, I mean, as a novelty, as a place that would be open, like a pop-up that would be open for 2 months, sure, okay, I'll stop in, but like, this is not a sustainable business, I guess.
Right. This seems like a place that's set up to have one big weekend. You know, there's going to be, or maybe there'll be a couple of weeks. I was going to say as a question, what's the weirdest concept bar or nightclub you've been to, but like I don't think either one of us. I think you and I are both kinds of guys who we are aware of something like this sometimes, but then like that's not for me. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna do this shit unless I'm doing it with a bunch of good friends as a goof or something. Which I guess they kind of are, because Carrie is trying to change up the juju on her day. And so they go out to this club that Samantha has the VIP invite for, right? And apparently the whole thing is just like, it's like bottle service, but your table is a bed.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know. It's kind of fun, but whatever, guys. I mean, they go and sit in the bed. Also, there's a weird thing where they go in and they don't find the name on the list, and then Samantha name drops herself, and then they get in basically. And it's sort of like, what is the point? As again, it's like, why are you setting it up like this? Because it seems like, oh, is her name not going to get them in? But it does, so nothing happens. It's
an unnecessary it's an unnecessary scene because we know Samantha has VIP access to shit. We don't need to see that part. There doesn't need to be we didn't get in, then we did. Just show us, get them in the fucking door.
Just get to the bed already, folks.
Get to bed. Get to bed. These two old men shout at each other at 11:30 on a Sunday. Yeah. Yeah, and so they go in, and Miranda's storyline in the HBO recap, it said it was that she was psyched that she could fit in her skinny jeans. That sounds like, if you hadn't seen the episode, it sounds like it's selling it short. It's not. That's what happened. She felt like, oh, I don't know if I want to go out to a club. I'm a mom now, and I feel like I can't hang like that. And I get that. That's relatable to be like, am I too old to be doing this shit? But she fits into these old skinny jeans, and my wife she said the fake logo was terrible, and she just said, take off all the accessories, every single one.
Oh, the cuff was outrageous. It was shouting at the TV every time it was on screen.
Yes, she's just like, Miranda, you're such an Indiana mom right now, just out getting after it. But Miranda was a lot of fun this episode.
Absolutely.
Anyway, yeah.
The only thing I didn't like is that she found this her skinny jeans in her closet or whatever, and tried it on a whim, and they fit. And it's like, oh, as a mom, I don't have time to eat. But like, you certainly do have time to eat. This has been my experience as a parent. You have time to eat, but you eat junk. You eat, instead of like, oh, when I have all the time in the world, I'll prepare a salad and I'll exercise or whatever. But now it's like, well, I don't have time for any of that. I'll eat whatever junk is around. So it's just weird that, like, yeah, I'm as a single mother, I'm gonna fit into my jeans without any effort at all.
It's like I've seen that happen for people. Like I have seen some, but it does seem like the rarer case, you know, where like I've mainly seen it happen because my wife has pointed out their photos on social media or something, being like, this bitch had a kid and got skinnier, you know, like, as like, how dare she, kind of. But yeah, so Miranda does that, and then the real lesson here is like, Miranda's just like, it's like a magical day for Miranda because she's just feeling good about herself. And that's that is a real thing.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You're confident in yourself. You go out, you start fucking, you meet Ian Ziering at a club. The guy from 90210. No, was it? It could have been, no. It was Keith Ziering, Kevin.
Keith Ziering, his lesser brother was over there.
Yeah, she separates from the group because she's, I don't know, needs to pump in the bathroom. I forget why she left.
I think she's just going to the bathroom, yeah.
Oh, to pump, probably. She brought her breast pumping equipment with her. But anyway, she is like body checked into bed by just like a waiter or something, and it's Ian Ziering's bed. And they have it's a meet cute kind of. They have some good banter back and forth. He's smart, she's smart. It's charming, and she's wants to get up and go, and then he kind of talks her into staying for a bit, and actually stays the whole time they're at the bar.
Yeah, and I guess I think we're just doing all the characters together and just going
Yeah.
chronologically on this one because they're all together the whole time. So Miranda breaks off from the pack and she's hanging out, having a good date night with this with this dude. And then the other three gals go to the VIP table and Carrie sees friends of Berger's, who we don't know, I don't think.
The Friends
But
of Berger Society.
the FOBs. Yes. But one of them is your boy, Michael Showalter.
Coop, baby.
Yeah. How about that? Were you excited to see him?
I was excited to see Coop. It's interesting when, like, man, there's a lot of pretty people on this show, a lot of handsome men, a lot of pretty women. And then Michael Showalter, who's not ugly by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not Ron Silverling or whatever the fuck his name is.
He's definitely not Ron Silverling.
Ron Livingston, that's his name.
Okay, yeah.
I knew that. But no. So it's just funny to see like a regular person sort of show up.
Sure, like a normie.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and then his other two friends, which were sort of slightly less than normal, in my opinion. But I mean, I'm not one to judge, Kevin, based on looks.
You never have been. And one of the guys was a true psychopath, I will say. A true sociopath, probably a murderer, I would say.
Like in the fiction of the show, or as a human being, as the human being playing the character?
For sure in the show. Maybe he's a really good actor. If he's not a great actor, he might also just be a real murderer too. And I think the police should look into him. If police exist by the point this episode drops, who knows? Who can tell? I don't know. But yeah, so Carrie sees Berger's friends, and she's obviously got dumped this morning. And she feels like she has to go say hi to them.
It's a fucking big mistake, dude. Big mistake.
Don't do it.
Never.
No. Like in a horror movie where someone is gonna go like out to the backyard late at night to like, I'll take the trash out or something. You're shouting at the screen, don't do it. It's similar in this situation where it's like, nothing good comes of this. Don't go. There's no reason to make this hello. This is what you do. Give a wave, you're done. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't even need to wave. No. What Jack Berger has done is basically a crime against humanity. It's an atrocity. So, like, every one of his friends is guilty by association. It's on them. It should be on them to come over and be like, hey, I heard what Jack did. He's a piece of shit. Here's my number, Carrie. You're out of my league. I get it. But you're on the rebound right now, and this is a bar filled with beds for some reason.
Yeah.
Fucking Sleepy's. This is an old Sleepy's store that has been converted into a bar.
I love that. I love you coming out on fire on behalf of the ladies here, and that it is. And I think you're right across the board. I think it is fucked up. And that she doesn't have to acknowledge these people at all, and it's a mistake. And then she does it. She goes over. I do enjoy when she goes over. She says hello, and then mentions that they broke up, and then she's caught off guard when they're like, I know you guys had a lot of problems. It's like Berger's doing a lot of talking, I guess, to some people.
Except for today, where he doesn't mention that he broke up with his girlfriend at all to these guys.
Right. Yeah, I assume Berger's dead. But they say, and then she says to them, she's like, oh yeah, and he was bad in bed. And then I love that. You know what? You're over here. Shit got weird. Get petty. I think that's great.
It's the nuclear option
Yes.
for sure. As when she goes back to her friends. And yeah, this particular part did feel bodily to what you were saying, because there's a lot of her just going back and forth between two places and having sort of like long monologues. But she goes back to her friends and she's like, I fucking said the worst thing. You know that angry phone call that she was so proud. Earlier she said, I'm so happy with myself. I'm not even gonna. I'm over this guy. I'm not gonna leave him a shitty message. And she's like, oops, I just left that shitty message with his friends, and there's no way to take it back.
But they don't have evidence of it. It's better than leaving the message because the guy could keep the message. And this is just word of mouth. This is hearsay. So that's good. And she could just leave it there. Charlotte suggests to go back over. Get the fuck out of here. That's terrible advice. And this reminds me of one of my favorite movies that we were talking about at my birthday hang. My birthday. No, how dare you? Swingers, which Ron Livingston was in. And there's an iconic scene from that where Jon Favreau is leaving a bunch of voicemails, basically. And it's cringy. And this is when Carrie walks back over, nothing good is going to come of it, right? So she goes over and she starts talking to them again. It's not getting any better. And then one of the guys says, like, she's talking about how to break up and how the guy didn't break up right. And he says, yeah, you ladies say you want to talk it out and have like a reasonable breakup, but then you go all psycho bitch is what he says. And I was like, that's the serial killer. That I wanted to fight that guy now. Like, I hate that fucking guy.
You could just say psycho. You could just say psycho. You don't have to say psycho bitch.
No, saying psycho bitch to a woman that you barely know and that's a serial killer. This guy's insane. He's a piece of shit. I want to fight him.
If you're that actor with that weird bowl cut or whatever it was.
Yeah, he ain't shit. So, but the clip of the week is this, basically. And it's when she's talking to them about how you should break up. So, John, you can step away from the mic for a moment, and I will play this. Boom. John, so she's saying that there is a thoughtful, decent way to break up, to honor what we had. And the guy, one of the things that led into that was your boy Michael Showalter saying that there's no good way to break up, which I have to say I agree with in principle.
I do too. I think Carrie's being a bit facetious when she says that there is a good, honest, respectable way to break up. Like, I don't think so. I think it just shreds someone pretty much. There's
worse ways to do it than others, for sure. And there's more cowardly ways to do it than others, for sure. But there's no breakup where I don't think there's a version of a breakup when either person wants to stay in the relationship where you leave feeling good. That's just not, I think that's just unrealistic. The only time breakups are good, Nora Ephron movies, fucking You've Got Mail and Sleepless in Seattle. Both of them have a situation where like Meg Ryan's dating someone and then she wants to dump them, for Tom Hanks.
I haven't seen either one of these movies, so.
You haven't seen either one ever?
No, dude. No.
No, dude. I'm fucking.
I'm a guy. I'm a man.
I'm a mask alpha.
I only watch The Mask starring Jim Carrey.
Yep, I know. That's one of my favorite things about you. You're a quirky boy. And But in these movies, basically, it's like, oh, Meg Ryan's seeing someone, but we all want her to hook up with Tom Hanks. And then she has a breakup scene, and they're just like, both like, yeah, I was also thinking we shouldn't be together. And it's like Greg Kinnear in one, Bill Pullman in the other. And it's like, fine, no one's feelings are hurt. And they're like, yeah, we're broken up. And it's just like, fuck. It's great. It's great for those movies, but it's entirely unrealistic. This never happens. There's no breakup like this. But yeah, so I think I'm on the guy's side here in terms of there's no good way to break up.
Right. But there is, yeah, like you said, there's no good way, but there is certainly a wrong way, and it
There's
involves
worse ways. Yeah.
Office supplies. Also, maybe it's just really easy to break up with Meg Ryan. Maybe
that's true. Maybe everyone wants to do it. I can't wait to break up with Meg Ryan.
If only I had the courage to mention it, and then she mentions it, and then it all works out.
Yeah. But yeah, thoughts on the I guess that idea that like the breakup that honors what we had. I guess we just said it, but
it's it's impossible. Also, the idea that like I don't remember them saying this in this episode, but maybe I did and I missed it. But you said that like it's like, oh, you learned something from a relationship or something. That's what Carrie said.
Yeah, they talked about that a lot in this episode.
Oh, well.
No, but that's, I'm saying you're on to something, John.
Well, no, but I'm just, because you said it earlier, that's why I'm saying it now. Because I pay attention to what you say. But,
thank you.
You're welcome. It's the least I could do. Anyway, it's weird that, like, women learn something from a relationship with, like, guys that are basically dipshits a lot of times.
Absolutely. Guys that are, like, fucking nothings. Yeah.
And then the guys who could learn something probably just don't, I guess, most of the time. And they're like, fuck this. No, she's a psycho B word that I won't repeat.
Psycho bison. Yeah. Do you feel like, have you ever left a relationship and then afterwards felt like I specifically learned something from it?
I learned that Stephanie's got fucking ice water in her veins. She's got no heart. No, I never dated a Stephanie.
No, I know. That was a good cover.
Thanks. No, I don't know. No, it's mostly like heartache and rage and disgust and loathing. Not a lot of learning going on.
Sure, I've never learned anything. I think the one thing I learned that like you don't have to be perfect for a girl to like you. I think I definitely in earlier times like tried too hard to be a thing I wasn't. I think is a thing I learned. Like I tried too hard to be perfect and to come off as perfect. I think, and I learned that that doesn't help.
Wow.
Yeah. How about
Kevin, that just makes you even more lovable. All your perfect imperfections.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm pretty bad, honestly. Like there's like I'm not terribly good choice. All right. So that's the end of that.
Anyway, she leaves that conversation. She's like, well, this fucking blew up even more. I'm digging my way into a worse situation.
Blew up. Here's a link to my SoundCloud. Yeah.
She downs her champagne and then bounces. On the way out, they hit up Miranda, and who is still in bed with this guy. And they wrap it up okay, and then Miranda just leaves. And I was like, oh, they should have swapped numbers or something.
I know. I guess Miranda just thanks him, for the night. And one of the best guys we've come across because he was perfectly nice, charming. It would have been perfectly fair for him to be like, can I get your number? But also the one element is like, dude, you just rocking a bed by yourself here? You just rolling solo to this?
Yeah. Well, the fucking Berger's friends, the Friends of Berger Society's 3 guys on a bed. And I guess that's how you have to start because you roll in with your group and then...
Right.
Yeah. All the beds were taken before, except for the VIP area. So I guess Berger's friends are VIPs. Right. Also, I wanted Berger's friends. Why not have... What was Michael Ian Black and David Wayne doing that day where they couldn't have been on that bed?
Where's the rest of the state? Yeah, exactly.
Where are the Stella boys all in
Yeah.
one bed?
Yes. So Miranda basically thanks him for, the hang, and she's just feeling great about herself. They go
Mhm.
outside. I don't know if I should cut in here to say that earlier on, Samantha and Smith had a talk. I guess that could catch us.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, you're my girlfriend," and she's like, "Not so fast. Don't tell anyone you have a girlfriend. It's not good for your look because you're going on TLR." Nope.
Classic John Daly.
TLR.
Samantha Miranda mix up TLR, Total Live Request on MVT, that classic music video network.
See, I can screw it up even when I haven't been drinking, Kevin. It's pretty impressive, I think.
John, I never doubted that. So yeah, this yes, but he's going on Total Request Live.
Yeah, you couldn't do the letters either. You were afraid you were going to make the same mistake.
I was terrified. And Samantha is feeling weird. She doesn't like to be labeled. As she says to Carrie when they're talking about the breakup, when Samantha's wearing an all-time ridiculous outfit early in the episode with a hat and a midriff and crazy pants.
Dude, Carrie's wearing shorts that are only pockets, I think. It's just like the part of the shorts, when you have cutoffs that like the pockets go past where the legs are?
Yeah, you and I have worn Daisy Dukes together. I know what we're talking about. Yeah.
we wore tandem Daisy Dukes. Two boys in one set of pants.
It's a version of like when a bunch of kids put on a trench coat to act like an adult, but us with but
yeah, it's the same thing.
Pants.
It's two grown men wearing cutoff shorts and posing as one adult.
Yes. But Sam says there, nothing good comes of being the girlfriend, except for at some point you're not the girlfriend. Basically there's like, basically being like Sam's general, central thesis, where she's basically like, I don't want to invest emotionally because then I might get hurt. So Samantha is not wanting to be labeled Smith's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. And yet, I assume if he banged someone else, she would probably have a problem with it. But anyway, so yeah, they do all that, and then he's going on TRL. That's right, folks. Man, I wonder if there's people, because that show got canceled. That seemed like a thing that was going to be on forever, and I guess it wasn't. It
really should have been able to. I mean, that's a network problem that they couldn't keep the cost down enough to keep that show going. You know what I mean? There shouldn't. And I once got called in for like I got hired for a couple days as a writer at MTV. They wanted for like developing new shows, and they basically wanted the new TRL. And me and a couple other like very funny, talented people I was in a room with, I hadn't met before. They were great. We pitched them a bunch of stuff, and they ended up just rebooting TRL. And I was just like, how did we not nail that? They told us that we want. They just wanted a new TRL. We should have just said, have you considered TRL? Because that's what they did. Fucking reboots, and that's
how expensive is that show to run? It's a host and like a television, right?
It should be fucking nothing. They suck, dude. MTV sucks. It's everyone who, in my experience working MTV, which I did quite a bit, all the executives are just like old ass white people who just can't stop telling you about their party times with Pauly Shore in the early 90s at beach houses. That's the executives. They're just like uncool people who are now trying to decide what's cool. It's very sad. So Smith goes on and he does a good job there, but Samantha's told him that he not to say that he has a girlfriend anymore, because that's part of the dream about the absolute hunk, is he has to be available to you.
He's getting that thing you dude. He's getting that thing you done. Where like the boyfriend or one of them's like, I've seen the movie before, I'm sure once or twice, but one of them's told to not be in a relationship, or to appear not to be in a relationship, because that makes you less desirable to the teenage girls.
Yeah, so we've done it wrong this whole time, John, being like, we're married.
Yeah. I'm single. Yeah, I'm the heartthrob. Hold on.
You are the heartthrob. That's obvious. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. He's the drummer now, right? He's got sunglasses and he's drinking out of a dick. Hold on. Put it back. Give me one more time. Give me Give me everything. Okay, cool. Got it. So, John, they leave bed, and Miranda is like, Carrie smells weed, and turns out, did you know she's a drug addict? She's very into the weed, and
yeah,
Miranda,
she's into the weed. She wants to get this weed. They don't. Samantha says her guys, her dealers at the Cape. Man, I guess her drug dealer's like a kingpin or something, that he's got a lake house or something. But so he's unavailable. But guess what? Fucking Miranda works up the courage because she's wearing her fucking skinny jeans. She's got the confidence to go interact with the guys that they smelled the weed of. They smelled. And did you recognize those guys, Kevin? Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I did not recognize those guys.
They were cherry poppin' daddies. Those were the guys.
What? Were they really?
I don't. They could have been. It looked like they were sort of like into swing. So
hold on, John. I'm just really quick. I'm canceling our podcast.
Oh, shit.
I mean, that's also kind of it's that's almost another swingers reference. But it was Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. It wasn't Cherry Poppin' Daddies, but it was a daddy related swing thing. And John is holding his earmuffs. They're not earmuffs, they're headphones. Anyway, one of us is drinking. But yeah, so they go around the corner to this other bar, and it's a very different vibe.
Yeah, they said they're gonna drown the hound or whatever. The guys
that sounds
are like,
like that sounds like a crass way to talk about getting your dick wet.
I thought they were gonna talk about like peeing, like, oh, I'm gonna drain the lizard. I'm gonna drown the hound with my pee. I'm gonna drown this basset hound with my urine.
Right.
But they don't do that. It's actually a bar.
It's a real bridge and tunnel situation. Turns out, bunch of Jersey freaks.
It is a dive bar, very divey. I mean, you know what? I guess I don't know if I'm bridge or tunnel. I think I'm one of them now that I live on Long Island. But
you're a bridge. You're a bridge boy. Yeah,
hey.
But you and I are dive bar dudes, I think, for the most part at this stage of our life, and probably always. But they end up at this bar, and Carrie wants to get high, and everyone's trying to be cool to Carrie because she had the rough day, and so then Samantha goes to the bar and is like, here's $20. That should buy us several drinks and a channel change. And apparently also buys her a joint. It's like, where the fuck is this bar? I don't smoke weed, but I'll go to, this is great New York prices.
Well, yeah, the drinks are $4 a piece, and then the joint is $8.
And even like shitty bars in New York, it's like getting a bartender to actually change the fucking channel can be a real hassle too. So yeah, but she sees Smith on TRL. I guess this is skipping over. We'll go back to it, but she sees Smith on TRL, and he says exactly what she told him to, which is that you're dating, but you haven't met anyone special yet. But she sees him say that, and it affects her in a way where she hates it, of course. And this is, I think, a very understandable human emotion, and also it's crazy.
Right. Well, yeah, she doesn't like being labeled no one special, which is like, oh, yeah, I guess it is sort of an arrow through the heart. But
of course, but you labeled it yourself.
Yeah, you did this. Yeah, you've been hoisted by your own petard, so to speak. You're dramatic irony here.
We are definitely the only Sex and the City podcast ever that had that phrase, hoisted by your own petard, for sure.
Well, it's a popular phrase.
It's a compliment. It's a good
People
thing.
say it all the time.
I know. John, how many petards have you been hoisted by this week? A lot is all I'm saying. Anyway. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but she's no one special, and then she tries to now her reaction here, I guess, was weird for me, because it seemed like, oh man, he said I was no one special. I realize I do want to be someone special to him. I know what I'll do. I'll make out with a random jabroni at this bar.
And I think his actual last name was Jabroni in this case. And he said, the voiceover said, to prove Smith was no one special to her, she kissed someone even less special. And I think that is a complicated, fucked up, but relatable thing, where where I think you could be with someone and like you're worked up, and to try to get over them, you just grab the nearest person to you. I think that's happened to a lot of people. And like, fine, I'm gonna make out with this person. I'm gonna try to like try to like distract your heart, kind of, and so that's
I've never seen that. I don't know if I don't think I've ever seen that with my own eyes. I think that's like a TV thing.
Really? I think it's
I don't know.
real.
No.
I think it's I think it's a real. I've seen it. Yeah.
Well, you got names, Kevin?
I don't want
to
to
get for instance over there.
No, we have a very popular podcast. I don't want to blow anybody up. But Samantha's like protecting her heart by trying to trick herself into thinking this, that she's not hurt in this moment, or that she doesn't want what she wants as much as she does. So she starts making out with this.
She starts going to fucking the smoosh room with a gorilla over here.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Now he's a grenade. Is that right?
No.
Okay.
Charlotte. No, Miranda's a grenade. Come on.
No, but Miranda's bringing
not
it.
Tonight. Tonight
Sure.
She's not a grenade, but normally she's a grenade.
She's been a grenade in her past, and who amongst us has not been a grenade?
Sure, had a improvised explosive quality.
I was a grenade for much of my 20s, I think.
What?
I was like ugly for a while. I was I was like fat and shit.
Here we go.
What?
No, Kevin, you weren't ugly. You were handsome.
Stop it.
Handsome boy.
No, I mean it when I say I was fat and bad, right? Fat and Bad. That'll be my next album. Yes. All right. So Sam goes to this guy. It's a good exchange of lines where he says she's watching TV. She's watching her boyfriend on TV, whether she wants to call him that or not. And he just goes, "Hey, you're hot enough to be on TV." And she's like, she says, like, take that shit to the dartboard, or basically.
That's funny. It's like, does he have like a boner in his hand or something? Like, what? Just take the lines to the dartboard?
I think so.
That's where the floozies hang out, is the dartboard.
It made me laugh. He said, "You're hot enough to be on TV." And she said, "Take it to the dartboard." And that was really funny to me. Also, John, it's my birthday now. Just after I was talking about being a fat shit, it's now midnight. So, yeah. That, and then she basically sees Smith say what she told him to say, and she's hurt by it. And then she turns back around and makes out with this guy to take her mind off it and be like, she's tricking herself. She's playing herself. She's trying to be like, I don't need this thing. And then his also gorilla girlfriend comes back.
A real silverback. Yeah, it's sort of like Busy Phillips, and then also I thought sort of like is her name Fairuza Balk from The Craft and from The Waterboy? That lady.
Honestly, I don't understand one word you've said in the last minute.
What, Busy Phillips? You know who?
Okay, I knew that one.
Fairuza. No,
are you Veruca Salt?
No,
I don't.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I'll find it. Don't you worry.
I'm pretty worried.
Hold on. I got it. It's Fairuza Balk. You guys.
What is that?
It's an actress. She is an actress.
Uh-huh.
You'll recognize her when I send it. Anyway, it wasn't her in this episode.
Oh, good.
And it also wasn't Busy Phillips, I don't think. Neither one of them were listed in the credits. So it was just a random person.
No, that's good. That was fun though. The gorilla we're saying we thought was this person.
The lady, I wouldn't call her a gorilla, but she was aggressive.
Okay, yeah, she was aggressive. They wanted to fight Samantha, and so they, because she was dating the guy she went to the bathroom and he was sitting on Samantha, so whatever. But before this, there's a Charlotte thing. So basically, Charlotte she's at the bar and she's talking to Carrie, and she's being like, she feels bad, I think, about being enthusiastic because this is her second time through. She's like, she doesn't feel like, she feels like, she tells them I'm not having bridesmaids this time, and they all celebrate. And she's like,
Yeah, because that's gotta suck, dude. When you're a bridesmaid, you have to spend so much money.
I know, it is incredible. And I know, like, we've been groomsmen for each other, so it's like money's involved there too, but it's not.
Yeah, it's like a tux rental, and like
that,
a trip, and like a
It's
trip
a trip.
you do get to enjoy, which is nice.
It's a fun trip, yeah.
Like bridal shower, bachelorette party, which presumably is fun, but
Of course, but
then the dress and the fittings and all that, it's a lot.
Right. But Charlotte's basically like, she says, after all saying things happen for a reason, she's feeling bad that this is round 2, and that she's like, I wish I'd never been married before. I can't celebrate. She feels like she can't celebrate in a big way. And Carrie is being very nice. She's like, do what you feel. Like, this is, you don't have to feel ashamed for anything that's happened. And there's another bachelorette party at the bar, at this dive bar. And I will say the girl who plays the bride-to-be does a really good job of acting drunk, which is a thing we see good actors do a terrible job of all the time. She feels actually drunk here. She's like pleasant and slurry when the words are just a little slow. I feel like she does a great job and is very fun. And they ask Charlotte to take a photo of the group. And
terrible. And fucking Charlotte, white woman's her way up in this, makes it all about her.
To be fair,
I just got engaged. Oh, okay, well, you come and be in the picture then. It's like, well, they wanted a picture for themselves.
Well, but that's not it, though, because Carrie pointed out that she just got engaged, and then they asked Charlotte to be in the photo.
Yeah, this is like an unreliable narrator situation. This is like Carrie's telling of the story. They were probably like, "Oh, great! Could you take a picture of us? Could you? We want a picture of us, not a picture of this weird person."
I mean,
who's here?
Also,
who's already been married once. So why is she even celebrating?
That would be very funny if strangers were like, But Trey, though, it would have been great if the drunk bridesmaid, if the drunk bride-to-be was like, but you married Dune, and that was bad.
How you gonna wear white on your wedding day? You already rode the worm.
The spice must flow out the door, bitch. Get the fuck.
Now, I also want to point out, Kevin, I was inspired to have this dick straw because they had dick straws at the bar, the bachelorette party.
Hell yeah, nice work.
So she hijacks this party. Also, I just want to say that's I mean, it works out for Charlotte, so I guess that's fine. Charlotte's also sort of a cop here. She's really looking down her nose at the old weed heads.
Yeah, I guess I'm the Charlotte then.
Yeah, Kevin's a Charlotte. It's official.
Yeah. Yes, I'll take it. But yeah, I think she doesn't care that they smoke weed. She just isn't into doing it.
Are you sure it's a good idea, guys? Are you sure?
She's more of a wimp than I am, I would say. But otherwise, my weed feelings, I think, do track with Charlotte's here. Although it's weed's treated like a real drug here, especially by the fucking cops, because after they get chased out of the bar, because Samantha made out with the gorilla, they're smoking a joint outside that Samantha got, and Samantha takes a call from Smith, and Carrie gets busted by the cops.
Yeah, she's arrested for getting this doobie on.
She does have a very good quote when she said, "The day I got arrested for smoking a doobie," and she says it very funny.
Yeah, because she's high. She's high the rest of this episode. High as a flipping kite. Her and Samantha, even though they just a couple puffs. They probably haven't had weed in a little bit. They did say it was powerful.
Right.
And, the joint did cost upwards of $5, so it was probably pretty good.
Yeah, I have no idea market value of any of this, but
it's weird. Now, do you think surely Samantha's been in some fights before?
I feel like Samantha would fuck these bitches up, honestly. I would take Samantha over this angry girlfriend in a second. Now, granted, it's like a team of them, and one of them is gigantic and sounds like me, basically. So I feel like Samantha's outnumbered for sure, and I don't think any of the other girls can really fight. But I would think Samantha would win one-on-one.
Maybe Miranda could like subdue them with like by sort of lawyering at them really hard.
I would bet Miranda has a taser or mace on her. I bet Miranda would have a useful weapon, I think. So, yeah. The cop
pulls over. I mean, I don't know, dude. Are a bunch of people getting arrested, especially white women, for smoking a J downtown? I don't know.
Not really.
Anyway, she's being arrested. She's put in the back of the car, and her friends come to her rescue. They say she's had a really bad day, and he's like, "Oh yeah, what happened? What happened?" And she's like, "Oh, they got dumped via Post-it," and he's like, "No way." And then she does a samples thing with the Post-it, and he lets her go.
Mm-hmm.
Your tax dollars at work, friends.
Yeah.
One more drug offender on the streets.
This is pretty believable. I think, like you alluded to, the least believable thing is that cops in New York would bother a white woman about weed at all, you know? Especially a wealthy seeming white woman. Like that's not really the case.
When the cherry poppin' daddies are just down the road smoking a J well.
You can make a huge bust on one of the top swing groups of the mid to late 90s in this episode that was in 2003. Yeah, for sure.
They're still big downtown, dude.
Yeah. Dude, they sure are. But Carrie, I thought when she was high and they were hanging out afterwards and like having dessert together, she said it's turned into the day I got arrested for smoking a doobie. I thought was very funny. She did that good. And it makes me think SJP smokes that reefer, I think, for real. Because it's the second big weed episode for her, because she had that with that there was a boyfriend named Wade, I think, in a much earlier episode.
Who lived with his mom.
Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah. And then there's a terrible finishing line about a banana split.
That's why I had the ice cream.
Yeah. Oh, that's why you brought ice cream into play.
I didn't want to eat the whole thing, Kevin, but damn, I have to use my props.
Gotta represent. Yeah. Also, she and Samantha had a fun conversation while they're like sort of holding the weed in with like that voice, you know? And men are bullshit is something they said. John, do you find that men are bullshit?
Most of them are.
I think that's probably true.
Yeah. Makes it easier for the rest of us, the good ones.
Yes.
AMAB. All men are bullshit.
Hell yes. Abolish. Defund men. John, I was just gonna say, I already asked, what did you learn from other relationships? How do you get over a breakup, I guess, is a question, because Carrie's approach is to get out there and try to make more shit happen, I guess.
I say just, spend time to, with yourself. Learn to like being with yourself for a while.
Right.
After a breakup. Don't rush into anything else. And also publish the nude photos that you took.
Like, and when you say publish, how do you what do you think? Insta story? Are you going
Insta story, WordPress?
WordPress. You dropping Tumblr bombs?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to get them out there. Reddit, sure.
John, how do you take a nude?
How do I take a nude of myself? Oh, yeah. I mean, I did one once. Surely I've mentioned this before, but I did do one once where I put sunglasses on my dick, and then I put that against the matrixy background of ones and zeros, like it was a. This was around the time of the Matrix, too, so to put it into context.
So you guys don't think I'm a fucking idiot for putting sunglasses on my dick. It was timely, pop culture-wise. Yes, you told us about that, and I learned that about you on this fucking podcast. We've been friends for 19 years. But the and that's one of the many good things and good reasons why we do this
Mhm.
podcast. That's so great. Yeah. No, I'm just looking for tips, John. in case
Do you
I
want
need
me to see if I can? Do you want me to find you a copy? Did you want
Yes.
to see it? Come on, you don't want to see my dick.
I don't want to see. Look, I've seen your balls. I've
It
actually
was
also.
like an erect penis, by the way, Kevin.
You
It
were
wasn't
erect?
flaccid.
What do you-
Yes,
what-
I'm not gonna put glasses on a floppy penis. That would look silly. This was, first of all, it's art and it was sexy.
Yeah, I agree. You shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't be sending flaccid penis stuff almost anywhere. I think. No, I don't want to see your dick. You're right, but do I want to post it on our Insta at Sex in the City? It's at Sex City. It's pod on Twitter. Yes, of course.
Just blur out the penis part.
Yeah, just we'll post one entirely pixelated square. Just like, this is John's dick. It's a fat square.
Hey, that's me all over, baby.
Hell yeah.
Fat square.
Anything else, John, before we close it up?
I finished my pint of ice cream. I drank through a dick. I mean, never go to bed angry, Kevin. That was a good Carrie line that we didn't talk about, but she said that too. When they left bed, that was like a, hey, we're leaving already, says Miranda. Never go to bed angry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good. That's something you would say in a social situation. I think you'd find the right, the right turn of phrase for the spot.
Yeah, no, that's it. Post-its, man. You know what they could have done too is also put post-its on like Carrie's nipples, like that thing in Varsity Blues.
Oh, the whipped cream thing, but with post-its.
Oh, post-its. That's pretty good, right?
Well, now we have another Insta thing. How many post-its do you think your dick is? Like, how many post-its I need to write off as a business expense to give you to cover your dong and post-its?
Like, Insta? Are we talking flass or a ra?
A ra. Probably talking. I think we're a couple of 3 post-it boys, probably 3 to 4, right?
4, 5, 8.
I think 4. Yeah, 4 to be safe.
The whole, like, all the way around. Are we wrapping our stuff in the thing?
That's a different deal. That's a lot more.
Am I making a burrito? Am I making a dick burrito with post-it notes?
Yes. All right. Let's close up, right? Anything else in your notes?
No, I just had dick burrito with post-it notes, and that's it, I think.
Well, we got there, so that's good. Hey, everybody, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next Friday. We won't see you anywhere unless you know Instagram. Bye.
Kevin, everything happens for a reason, and I wouldn't have found out about dick burritos with post-it notes if we hadn't watched this episode.